Yo, yo, testing 1 2 1 2 pop-up shop. You never know when I'll be here. Pop-up shop, your boy don't have long at all. Just testing out the equipment at the new crib and everything, making sure everything is good, man. I got about 20 minutes or something like that till I gotta go. But holla at your boy, man, if you're out there. Pop-up shop time. Let's talk little dogs and gators. I've been wanting to talk about this bad boy for a minute, so any little time that I get, I'm gonna try to do my thing, right? So let me know how I'm sounding out there, man. Been a long 2 days. Your boy is super tired, and I still got a lot more to do. But what's going on, everybody? What we got here? Colin Moore says, "Go Gators." Top billing to you. How do you say your name? DJ? I don't know what's that. Pop-up shop time. Gators checking in says Stanley. The man is here says Cole. Sleeves Reggie says Joe. Adam Miller says, "What up, my man?" Dawgs on top says, "What up, Murph?" Chris Matthews. Adam says, "Sounding good." Double A says, "New setup looking nice." Thank you, Double A. Appreciate it. Ray Johnson says, "Hunker down, dogs." C-Mac says, "What up, top billing?" John Forehand, "Hope it's a great game." Dog in here says, "Sleeves Recky, go Gators." Dylan Jarvis says, "Dr. Pressure." Dr. Pressure. Top billing. Frank Butler says, "Houseway." It's our first houseway of the new house. What up, big dog? Says Eric Green. Ray Johnson says, "Dogs about to three-peat." B. Scott in here with a super chat, the first super chat of the new crib. Let's get it, baby. B. Scott says, "Top billing, go Gators." There we go. Wow. So the first, hey, we're gonna look back on that years from now. Like the first at the new crib, the first chat was a Gator chat. Let's get it, baby. Out there, super chat, man. Your boy ain't got long. I want to touch on this game, though. I've been chomping at the bit, right? Chomping at the bit to really talk about this bad boy. So on my Committed to the G site, I put down, I usually do a blended roster, right? I try to determine who has the most talented team, right? By if I were starting like a pickup game or whatever like that. So the blended 22, like who would I make 22 players out of from both teams, right? So I did the offense today. Yeah, I haven't really heard back from my people too, man. Committed to the GP. You people are, come on, man. Come on, man. What we at though? What we got any mods in here? I just thought about this. I'm chilling. I'm out here naked without the mods. Mods are loaded, blah, 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 da, da, da. Philly Flyer. Gonna go off. No mods in the house. I'm free balling. I'm free balling without mods today, baby. And maybe I should have hit the Eric Green in the house. Shout out to Eric Green with the super chat. Ain't no mods. All right, we'll do what we got to do, man. All right, so let's start. I'm going to start where I started right there. I know where everybody wants to start at, right? Everybody wants to start with the quarterback position. So I said my final verdict. All right, we'll get there. We'll get there to the final verdict. All right, so we have a long track record of General Jake Fromm, right? People are poo-pooing him or whatever like that, but these are people who aren't watching football. Let's be honest here. They're skimming highlights and they're going by what they see other people are doing, and they're skimming their highlights as well and not noticing that. It's just totally different. It's a total parading up at Georgia. Jake Fromm's having to throw in the super tight windows, right? They had the Kentucky game. People was like, "Oh, he only threw for 30 yards or whatever like that." You think Jake Fromm would throw for 30 yards, right? Like you had to be thinking like, man, something must have been going on. That would be your first thought, right? If you had any type of brain about yourself, like, what's going on there? It was a freaking torrential downpour. You have young receivers, right? These young receivers aren't the most explosive receivers you'll see, right? More like possession type receivers. So he's having to fit the ball in the tight windows. He's working with a lot of inexperience. We know this. They lost the top 4 receivers from last year. So, right, we thought that Jeremiah Holloman would be the guy to step up as a veteran in his junior year. He got kicked off the team. So there's no holdovers from anybody who was balling last year at all, even the top tight end, Isaac Nada. So your top 5 targets are all gone. These guys are all young and inexperienced. And Fromm's having to do a lot with a lot of inexperience, right? So not saying that these guys aren't good or anything like that. They'll be great in the future, I believe. Right now, he's doing a lot of the heavy lifting. You're young at the center position and the right guard spot has a little bit of inexperience in it as well. So just some shaky little hiccups there or whatever like that. But before that, before the South Carolina game, right, in which he almost threw what he pretty much threw for 300 yards, right? Pretty much threw for 300 yards. Nobody's even mentioning that, right? Had a few blunders as far as the interceptions goes. But if you look at that, That wasn't on Jake Fromm. If you watch that game, I mean, we're talking about miscommunications. That's why you're not playing in the. That's why you're not playing in the torrential downpour, throwing the ball all over the yard. You got guys running the wrong routes. You got balls just literally bouncing off someone's hands into it. You just got a lot of youth at that position, so you're not going to risk it. You knew you could beat Kentucky just running the ball, so they weren't going to risk it there. But in the South Carolina game, same, just some blunders. But man, if you look at some of the throws that he was making, I did the film study on that bad boy on the Patreon site, and telling you, it's beautiful, breathtaking type stuff. That's the stuff that I like. I don't care about people throwing in the wide open receivers or throwing comeback routes all day long, right? Half field reads and everything. Jake Fromm's doing full scan progression reads with inexperienced youthful receivers. We're talking about football, man. That's what football is about to me. That's the kind of stuff that I get up in the morning for, and it makes me want to sit here and lab the film for 5 hours for people to jump in the goddamn video content 1 minute after it's published and then start talking like it's a message board. But that's the kind of stuff that makes me really get up out my seat in the morning. That type of stuff right there. That's what I look for. That's NFL type stuff. If you're looking at a lot of these other guys playing football, they're throwing the wide open receivers, half field reads, comeback routes, wide open out routes, vertical routes where there's nobody in the frame. Like, that's what you guys are. That's your G. That's your status right there. That's what makes you pop. That doesn't make me pop. So I still believe in the general Jake Fromm. There's nothing going on right there. Nothing going on but the rent, baby, as they used to say back in the game. Nothing going on but the rent. He'll be fine as the receivers get more and more experience. Got Lawrence Cager, who turned out to be probably the most reliable receiver, definitely not an explosive receiver, another 50-50 ball catch kind of guy. They have no guys like a Devontae Smith, Henry Ruggs, Jalen Waddle, KJ Hamler, was Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. I see these guys that you can take a hitch route or a slant route and take it 90 yards. He's not doing that. He's having to hit mid-distance digs. He's having to hit opposite hash, deep outs, real deep outs. You know what I'm saying? Different NFL type stuff because they can't scheme it open. Not to mention his offensive coordinator, you would say, I call him, he's like a rent-a-cop to me, right? He's not the dopest offensive coordinator you've ever seen. I never thought he was that dope in the first place when he was at his previous stop, but that's your offensive coordinator in a pivotal year where you thought that the junior talent on this and the upperclassman talent could take you to the next level. So Jake Fromm is still the truth. Kyle Trask, the Trask at hand, and the little small sample size that we've seen, he's been virtually lights out, right? I think he has above average arm strength. I think his accuracy, very good innate accuracy, for real. Very good innate accuracy. He moves a lot better than most people would think. He's not an athlete by any stretch of the imagination. I would say him and Jake Fromm probably very similar in that aspect, in that manner. What he has, though, is a freaking bomb-ass offensive coordinator who happens to be his head coach, who's one of the top 3 offensive minds in the sport, really. Dan Mullen, right? The hacker. The dude's always hacking into defenses and finding your little, he's in there like, he's just thinking about stuff and he's exploiting your guy. When they come out the third quarter, targeting your true freshman cornerback, or he put your tight end over. He's just a hacker. This dude is tried and true. He's the absolute truth. And he has nothing but veterans. All his top receivers, Josh Hammond, Freddie Swain, Tyree Cleveland, Van Jefferson. These guys are seniors. It's a much different way of operating, right? So if you say that, it probably evens itself out. You could say that those guys right now are even, really even. But if all situations were even, I think Fromm is a better quarterback. I really do. I think he's a better quarterback. But guess what? He's not working with a great OC. He's not working with a bunch of veteran receivers. To me, that evens it out. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? You people out there, I think the general and Kyle Trask right now are even if we're given that situation. What you guys think about that? Let's go. All right. Got a lot of people in here. All right. Brittany says, love your videos. Thank you, Brittany. What we doing? We're only talking about this. Y'all know me. I don't have a good attitude. So we're going to be talking about this. So what do you guys think about Fromm versus Trask? And give me some analytical or give me some breakdown type stuff. Don't just come with the go Gators and all that, go Dawgs. And all. I'm not doing that. That ain't me. Man, talking about James Cook. Thank you for the super chat, Chris. But follow the script. I only got a little bit of time. I'll shut this bad boy down. I'm going to be real with you. Swain. All right, here we go. Light Dog. Trask has a great arm strength and seems to be a great passer. All right, thank you, Light Dog. I appreciate it. His Peyton dude thinks I'm playing. Like I don't know what you ever seen in Murphy. Like, oh, Murphy likes to play around. I don't like to play around. I want to talk football. Trask goes through progressions at a high level in BK Academy. Yeah, he does. He does go through progressions at a high level. But you guys know who goes through the progressions at the highest level? That would be Jake Fromm. And he goes through full scan progression reads. I'm talking about coming back and he's on past the tertiary into the fourth read. And he does it constantly. Sean Sweeney says Trask pre-snap. Trask pre-snap pretty good. But that's what the general Jake Fromm is actually known for, though. Here we go. Ray Johnson. Now we cooking. Now we got some real people here. That's what I like right here. Miles Felius. Trask has put up the same numbers like Jake Fromm, though UGA has a great running offense. You have to give credit to how Kyle done in the games he's played in. Definitely put up very similar numbers. But like I said, he's working with probably a top 5 receiving core. Jake Fromm's not working with a top 5 receiving core, even in his own conference. RN says Fromm won't have time. What are we talking about? Come on, let's get some real stuff, man. I'm not here to just to do this goofy shit. Fundamentally, Fromm probably better, but Trask is going as a starter. Go Gators. Good job. And what is your name? That's your name? Trask seems like an inexperienced Fromm, says Nick Reno. I think you're right about Fromm. However, this year, SC has only been time I felt he was rattled, but he will settle. His experience and alpha competitiveness will win out. All right, so you say he was rattled in the South Carolina game. He threw for 300 yards, and I don't know if you watch the interceptions, which one could you really say was on him? Like for real, I want to go back on those interceptions. I want somebody to really tell me the ones that you think like, oh man, Jake really didn't do that good that snap. And when they needed it, he drove the team right down the field and threw a touchdown to Demetrius Robertson right in the back of the end zone. I don't think he was rattled in that game at all. That pick 6 was on him. Pick 6 was not on him. So look at that. He had pressure in his face, right? He was trying to throw the ball out of bounds and he couldn't step up in the pocket. Isaiah Wilson got beat and pushed right up into him. So if you saw it, he couldn't get anything on the throw. So he's trying to throw it out of bounds and it didn't get there. Is that on him? Gators going to win 38-21, my prediction. Good for you, bro. This is not Thursday. We don't do predictions. I appreciate it, though. I just think Trask hasn't even peaked yet. I think you'll see the best version of him after this bye week. That's a great point. Great point. Rohan Patel, I don't think Fromm will do well against Florida secondary. Georgia's O-line and Swift are going to have to carry. I don't know about that, man. He's not like he's immune to Florida. He played Florida secondary, these same exact guys for the past couple of years, though. I don't think the secondary would be it. It would have to be something more than just a secondary. He balled out against them last year. Same exact guys. Minus Marco Wilson. So if you really think about it, Marco ain't been doing that good this year. So Double A says, I'm interested if Kyrus gets more work since he's back healthy. He started week 1 and got more speed than most their receivers other than D-Rob. I don't find Kyrus Jackson to be that fast, though. That's my thing right there. Like, people are forcing square pegs in the round holes with some of these Georgia receivers. I've been around Kyrus Jackson a whole bunch. He was on my big bro's son's 7-on-7 team. So, I mean, I got to see his speed close up in the camps and stuff that I work. He looks to be about maybe like a 4 or 5 guy, something like that. These guys are working with dudes who are like running 4 2s and 4 3s. That's a huge difference, right? But like you said, he could be faster than the other guys for sure. But what are we talking about here? It's marginal. Ray Johnson says Fromm is due for his breakout this year. He knows his defense well. If the breakout game this year is what you meant to say, he knows his defense well. If the O-line gives Fromm, if the O-line gives Fromm time, he will pick the secondary apart. All right, got you for sure. History shows that Fromm is due to have next level style game. This receiving core has me worried, though. That's a good point. The state of Georgia and Florida returning punts and kickers. I don't care about that. Tony will not. Don't care about that. Top billing. Nope. We're talking about Fromm versus Kyle Trask right here. That's what I'm talking about. You guys talk about what you want. You want to get my attention? Let's do it this way. Give me some analysis on stuff. I'm not jumping on here to talk this little fanboy stuff. Trask, there we go. Trask's biggest weakness seems to have been his internal clock. Given enough time, he's proven to be very accurate. That is great analysis right there. And that is something that's poignant to point out as well. You have seen his pocket presence in his pocket presence and his internal clock be a little faulty sometimes, right? I mean, you're taking hits to the face, right? You can't be taking punches to the face like a boxer, right? He's taking sacks, right? You should be able to see that some pressure coming in your face. You're like this, and pressure's coming in your face, and you can't sense that. That's just inexperience right there, right? So that's the thing with him. He could improve leaps and bounds and stuff like that just because he's only 5 or 6 games into his starting career. So that's scary to think about. It looked as good as he's done. Peyton says, if Fromm finds a rhythm, he's as good as anybody. No doubt. The general point blank. What is that? Come on, man. Give me some analysis. I don't want to talk. I don't. That's too cut and dry for me. Fromm's biggest weakness is he doesn't throw over the middle. That's not a weakness. I don't see how. That's what I was thinking. So think about this. Throwing over the middle is probably the easiest thing you can do. It's a straight line from point A to point B. Throwing outside the numbers is what people struggle at. That's what they get people for from the NFL. The first thing they're going to look at is outside the numbers throws from the hash, right? So if you're not throwing over the middle, that probably means you have nobody who's getting open to where you feel comfortable to throw it over the middle because there's more traffic there. Throwing outside the numbers, that's more of a rhythm and timing thing, and it's a much harder thing. It's a lower percentage throw. Throwing over the middle, like I don't know what to tell you about that. I always thought that was the most weirdest thing. I've heard that a lot too. Fromm's O-line helps him, gives him the edge over Trask. I mean, theoretically, you can say that, but did it help him against South Carolina? That was one of the poorest performances I've seen from an offensive line that's supposed to have been the best in the country. Demetrius, what's going on? Go Dawgs, Dawgs by 14. Thank you, y'all. You know we do picks at the end of the week, though. Trask is bigger and does the same thing basically. I won't say he does the same thing basically. Trask is pre-snap stuff is literally done by Dan Mullen. He will look over to one of the best offensive minds in the business. Fromm ain't looking over to nobody. He's doing all this stuff pre-snap. He's getting everybody right. He's doing the run checks. He's doing the side adjust. He's setting the protections and everything. That's NFL level stuff. Kyle Trask is not doing that, nor does he have to. That's not how Dan Mullen sets it up. Dan Mullen is right there in his headset looking at him, and they're going to look over, and Dan Mullen's going to give him exactly what he needs to do. Now, does that help you at the next level? I don't know. I thought Dak Prescott struggled with stuff like that just because Dan Mullen can probably get out there himself and do it. To be honest with you, he's that good. Bet Fromm will Saturday though. Trask has a mediocre O-line and still putting up numbers. Man, that sounds cool to say he has a mediocre O-line, but he has a top 5 receiving core. Guys who can get open extremely quick. And he has a freaking tight end that's a mismatch. You know what I'm saying? That's something that you can't gloss over. All right, let's go. Where we at? Thumbs up check. Let's get the thumbs up check. Y'all struggling right here, man. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all struggling. Let's get the thumbs up check. Let me know if you've done the thumbs up check. Let me get 50. Shane says Marco was out. You're probably better off with Marco out. And Marco Wilson is not that good to me. So mentioning Marco Wilson is not a positive. Let's get a thumbs up check. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get that bad boy to 50. Good job, y'all. That was quick. Let's go, man. Let's see if we can get it to 75. I know people are watching right here that haven't done it yet. Do your boy a favor. You're not super chatting. Go ahead and give your thumbs up. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, MBK Academy. Thank you, Peyton. Thank you, VTW Tech Unboxing Videos. Chris, Hembry, Avon, Ray Johnson, Houseway. Stanley says, come on, man. What are we coming on, man, about? We'll get to Marco. What's wrong with y'all? We're not talking about Marco as a freshman. We're talking about him right now, what he's doing. So we'll get to that. We're not doing defense right now. I know you guys want to talk about everything, any and everything under the sun. If I don't talk about it, then y'all will be mad. But when I come here and I want to talk about something and keep it on track, then you still get mad. Robert Porter says, enjoy your taste. Keep up the good work. Salute. Oh, we got it to 75. Let's go, baby. 75. Let me know. Some of y'all up there chatting, y'all ain't put the thumbs up yet. Come on. Thumbs up. Let's go. Thumbs up. Let's go. All right, here we go. All right, so moving on past. Well, the verdict in that, I said it was even, and that's saying a lot. For Kyle Trask to be even with someone like the general, after 5 or 6 games as a starter lets you know the setup that he's working with, right? His talent combined with the setup, because y'all know I think the world of Jake Fromm, right? People can't tell me anything, right? I'm not going to ever think like the next man. I'll make blunders or whatever like that, but it's not from a lack of experience first and foremost, but it's not from a lack of understanding it and putting in the work and the sweat equity that goes in with it. So Jake Fromm can ball out, and all these guys that you guys think that are balling out, to me, they're playing in the most simplest offense. They're gimmicky, simple type offenses. It's impressive to the average casual fan, but if you're really looking at it and you're looking at what's going on, it's elementary school stuff. So I don't know. Jake Fromm's not doing elementary school stuff, right? So you acing tests in arithmetic might look dope. You got A pluses, but man, you're doing some of that aerospace engineering stuff, you know what I mean? And you're doing decently or doing really good at it. To me, that means more. What does that mean, Darren? He said $20 LSU looking. What does that mean? I'm confused. He did a $1.99 chat and mentioned $20. I'm confused by that. LSU looking in with $1.99. I'm confused. All right. Fromm making tougher throws than just about anybody. That is true. All right, so let's go on to the running backs. Don't know what to tell you. I would not take any Florida running back in my first 3 or 4, right? If I'm just doing a three-man weave, which I like to do, if I'm starting a team, I want 2 backs, right? Kind of a 1B, you know what I'm saying? 1A, 1B guy, and then kind of a guy that's kind of a switch your pitch type. I don't like 4 and 5 rotation. My first 3 would be Philly Flyer, DeAndre Swift. My second would be Brian Herrien. And my third would be a combination of James Cook and or Zamir White, right? I like LaMichael Piron, but all of those guys to me are more athletic than he is. He has more experience than James Cook and Zamir White, but Philly Flyer and those guys have just as much experience. And Damian Pierce, I like a lot, but he would just be on the outside looking in. So what do you guys think about that? Who would you guys take for your first 3 if you're being unbiased about the situation? And I know that I'm asking a lot for somebody to be unbiased when we're talking about chief rivals like Florida and Georgia. Well, y'all got like 10 minutes left. Let's go. Andy Cap, thank you, baby. Shout out. Salute. Pierce, Gators best back. Okay, cool. But where would you take him? Someone said Scarlet. What the hell that got to do anything? Tater, what's going on, man? Florida fan, give me all the UGA backs over ours. There you go. There you go. Unique says you hit it right on the head. Swift, Harry, and Cook says Chris Rich. I would definitely take Swift first. But give me we're making a blended 22, right? So who's your backup guys? Swift, and then who's your next 2 guys out of the entire roster between both teams? Tony, he don't count to me. He plays receiver. Charles said, I'm a Gator, but Swift, Harrion, and Pierce. Oh, I'm not mad about that if you said you would take Pierce, but I have a doubt too many people in the world would take Damian Pierce over Zamir White, though. Swift, Cook, and Piron. So you were saying you'd take LaMichael Piron over a talent like Zamir White or a guy like James Cook? Darius Jones says I'm taking Swift and Cook. I say 3 people. This is not going well. 3 people. I'm not going to acknowledge if you don't do 3 people. Here we go. Falcons Fury says Swift, Pierce, and Zamir White. So wow, Pierce second. I can dig it. I like Damian Pierce. UF will start UGA's 4th running back, says Keith. Fields in the house. VCW says Swift, Harrion, and Piron. Okay. Kingley says James has not done anything yet. He has not done anything yet, but you can't say that Damian Pierce has done too much of anything yet either, and people are still picking him. Who has the best hands out of all of those running backs is between Piron and Philly Flyer. DeAndre Swift. And you got to put James Cook in there. I'm not a Panthers fan, so don't come in here talking about fandom. If you see me wearing anything, just assume that I'm not a fan of that team. I'm just wearing stuff, and I'm not trying to talk fashion. All right, we got This ain't going well. I think I'm about to hang up. I'm about to hang up and shop. All right, Swift, CEH. CEH. All right, we got to get you out of here, man. I'm not playing around. I don't like to play around in life when I'm talking about football. People who play around when you're talking about football are trying to deflect because they don't know what's going on. That's why I always feel. But I know what CEH is. Why would he be relevant to this discussion? Like, come on. All right, Malik Davis. I forgot about Malik Davis, but I forgot about him with good reason. Not sure if he's that good. I just watched Zamir White tape and I saw he found the hole really fast. Hey, man, you should be watching football, period. Why you just not watching Zamir White? Swift, 100 yards, Harry. Well, I'm not asking you about that. I like Akers from FSU. Cool. You also like being blocked. We're talking about Georgia and Florida and these backs. Come on, respect my time. If you don't respect my time, I don't respect you. That's just what's up. You can say I'm an asshole or whatever like that. It's just going to be what it is. I hopped on. I'm not even supposed to be doing this. We got to finish moving stuff. I'm trying to talk to the people. You guys trying to be cute. Ideally, Swift is not a workhorse. His career high in carries was 17 until recently. I don't think you have to be a workhorse in this day and age, to be honest with you. Right? Who's really a workhorse in the NFL? That seems like that's a thing of the past. People like DeAndre Swift and these guys, like, they took Sony Michel in the first round. He's never been a workhorse. I'm starting thinking about stuff like that. These guys like Alvin Kamara and all these boys, they would be first round picks coming out, not workhorses. Tony Pete made it go orange. Thank you. Do you see Mullen manufacturing a running game by using trash to soften up Georgia's D? Any chance to UF? I don't think you want him running against Georgia like that. I mean, he can try. I just think Georgia has a super cold run defense at this particular point in time. If you want somebody softening up them in that manner, I would go with Fab Five, Emory Jones. How about P. Ron's backups? No, they're his backups. If you're not going to take the starter, why are you going to take the backups? I use Cook more as a slot, though, like 70-30, two back sets that could turn into 10 personnel. I think he's all right as I don't know. I think that's an experiment that they should go away from and just let him be a running back. There's plenty of people you can put in the slot there that I think that would do more damage. Let me get more slot work from Dominic Blaylock or Kyrus Jackson and people like that. I think, you know what I'm saying, James Cook will be fine as a runner. He's like Alvin Kamara. I don't see why they need to do him as a slot. Did he told you that he won't stop? I bet he told us that he won't stop. Says Chain Gang. Pete Diddy and man LaMichael Piron. All right, so that's the verdict. It looks like most people would take the Georgia running backs. All right, here's the flip side of that. Let's do the receivers. There's not one Georgia receiver that I would take in the top 5 in this blended roster. I would take my first pick would be Van Jefferson. My second pick would be Freddie Swain, right? My third pick would be Tyree Cleveland. My fourth pick would be Josh Hammond. And then my fifth pick would probably be someone like Trayvon Grimes. And then my first man off the bench will be between George Pickens and Jacob Copeland. So you could say that the first 5 receivers from Florida are better than anything that Georgia's got now. And that's for real. What y'all think? Matt Landis probably won't be appearing until we get to like 10. We're talking about receivers, man. Come on. Not Pitts. We're not doing Pitts. We'll get there. He's still a tight end. All right, I got 1 minute left. You guys are ruining my debut here at my new crib. Tony. I like Tony, but he's more of a kind of a gadget guy, like a James Cook kind. So there. I don't know. I wouldn't be honest. I wouldn't take him like that. He runs sweeps and stuff like that. I need to see him really contribute. A guy like Van Jefferson is a game plan wrecker, in my opinion. Jefferson, Swain, Hammond, and Copeland. Then you would take your all 4. Any Georgia fans out there want to shine? Want to? Why are you down on Grimes? What do you mean? Why am I down on Grimes? Why does it have to be I'm down on Grimes? Why couldn't it be that I'm high on these other guys? Like, why am I? If I'm no disrespect to Grimes, I just like those other guys. There's no disrespect to Grimes. It's not like Grimes has been absolutely killing or anything. These other guys have been putting in work. Southern Buck in the house. I already said Hammond. Swain is a playmaker. I said Grimes. He was like the fourth or fifth guy. Van Jefferson be leaving people standing there. He's definitely my number one pick. I told people before the season started, I like Van Jefferson is a monster. Grimes has been a good possession receiver. Grimes has been a good possession receiver. If I want to go for that, I probably would take George Pickens in that manner. I think George Pickens is probably an even better possession receiver than Trayvon Grimes. If I want somebody to go get it, I'm going to get Jacob Copeland. I think I can throw the ball 80 feet in the air, and I think he might at least tip it. Swain, Jefferson, Cager, Copeland. So that's different right there. So you're trying to tell me you would take Cager over like Hammond or Tyree Cleveland. Cager over Tyree Cleveland? I don't know. Cager's a straight 50. He's not getting any separation. He's going to make contested catches, but he's good in the red zone, but he's not going to separate from anybody. These other guys that are named from Florida, they separate from people and they give Kyle Trask clear throwing lanes. Oh, my God. All right, where we at? I already got him out, coach. I got him out. Don't worry about it. Just don't acknowledge him, right? People want to come in talking, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, we're not playing around on the internet. So it's looking like that's what it is. All right. So here we go again. So this lets you know how even this game is, right? Most of the people would take all of Georgia's running backs before they take Florida's. Most of the people would take all of Florida's wide receivers before they take Georgia's offensive line. Not one player on Florida's offensive line even sniffs the top 6 on Georgia's team. In that blended, I would take the first 6 or 7 Georgia players for real. Maybe Nick Buchanan, the center, could be the 6th or 7th best offensive lineman at Georgia. But even that. So what do you guys think about that? Jake Kuhn says Georgia O-line all day from UFM. I will say this, though. As terrible as that offensive line is, I don't know. I think the players around it sometimes makes it even better than what it may actually be, right? I've seen them get it done in certain time periods and stuff like that. But it's from a scheme. It's from a great Dan Mullen scheming, from Kyle Trask and his receivers, and of course Kyle Pitts and people like that. So that Florida's offense, it's tough to watch, man. That is a high level potential playoff team with a terrible offensive line. That is crazy. Trey Hill is struggling, but outside of that, it ain't close. Trey Hill is struggling. Trey Hill will be my 5th or 6th I would take. We're not talking about that. We're talking about Florida's. Don't veer me off topic. I'm not doing it. Florida's the best O-line in the SEC. Man, what are we doing? One time for my guy, Gene DeLance. Doo-doo. Well, we trashed Dookie. Gene DeLance is all right. Gene DeLance and Stone Feet. Gene Turnstile DeLance and Stone Feet Forsyth. 2 of the worst tackles, exterior players I've ever seen on a high-level potential playoff team. He's getting a rise out of you. He ain't getting nothing out of me. I looked at it, and that was it. But guess what? You going to get a rise out of Murph. You know what he do? It's that simple. Get him out of there, coach. Who else can make 30 inside zone calls look good? Decent in pass protection. But I have a tough time if you put like one of those gangsta-ass teams like Auburn. It didn't look decent in pass protection to me against Auburn. Good pass blocking against teams that aren't good pass rush. That's what I say. Anytime that you see a team, let them play Ohio State. With all those guys that can rush the passer there, they're not going to look like good passers. What they're going to do is they're going to scheme it to where they get the ball out of Kyle Trask's hands fast, though. UF O-line block each other. I don't know about that. That's been a long time since they've done that. Not talking about Kyle Franks. Follow the script. Follow the script, man. Coming from a Georgia fan, I think our O-line and their D-line cancel each other out. We can get there. But let's just go by the talent. We're just doing a quick roster check on that. Let's get it. We're almost to 100 likes. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Get it to 100 likes. There's more and more people in here now that I check. When you come in, man, just hit the thumbs up button for your boy, man, and say, let's rock out. LS says, Isaiah footwork be killing me. He could be a little lurchous, right? A little slow with it. Georgia's O-line over Florida's this year, for sure. I would say that. All right, so there's not much to really say that. All right, so tight ends. Kyle Pitts. Then my next choice would be Kyle Pitts. And then the third choice would be Kyle Pitts. What do you guys think about that? See, we finally got the Kyle Pitts. All you had to do was be patient. I'm talking about freaking the general versus the trash can hand, and dudes up here talking about Kyle Pitts. Pitts. What was that? Dylan. Jam Tom says, give Mullins Kirby roster and see what happens. We'll get to that. We're going to get to that. Florida 5-1 can't be guarded by Georgia. No, I'm not so sure about that. I don't know about that. You might be going too far. It can't be guarded by Georgia. I don't know about all that. Pitts is a top option. Is a top option in the nation. Definitely one of them. Bring back Nada. He might be second string. Kyle Pitts is a better player than Nada. He probably has already surpassed everything Nada did in college, for real. Pitts, Eli Wolf. I wouldn't take Ethan, whatever his name is, over Charlie Werner. Because I spit hot fire, says Greg Glaze. Nobody gonna get that reference. Kyle Pitts and Kroll. Kroll ever caught a pass in his life? He might have caught 2. Werner will have a breakout game. Werner's as talented as any of the other guys that's not named Kyle Pitts. He just is in a funny style offense. Amazing what we think of Pitts now that a competent thrower of the football is thrown into him. I guess you can say that, but some people don't like to target the tight ends. That's just what it is. Some of these guys are going to want to target the tight ends. Some of these guys are going to want to throw outside the numbers. Fromm is like that. I don't think Fromm really cares about targeting tight ends that much, but he will target the hell out of some crazy ass opposite hash throw out routes and crazy stuff like that. Coach Mack liked his tight ends too. Kyle Barbecue Pitts. Never compare players to food. I always think that's people don't understand how to do nicknames. Because guess what? When they do wrong, he's still Kyle Barbecue Pitts because the people will flip that shit on you. UGA secondary is suspect. I don't know about the secondary being suspect. Maybe a player or two, but not the if Eric Stokes and J.R. Reed is in your secondary, it can't be suspect. All right. That seems to be it right there. I don't know what to tell you guys. That seems about dead even, right? But what is the most important part of football if we're going through a roster check like that, right? Think about it. Where's the game won at? Let me know. I want to know what you guys are thinking about that. What's in your football brain? Coaching, defense. No, I'm talking about in this offensive roster. There you go. Thank you. Marquise got it. Everybody else talking about QBs. QBs. This is the trenches. Thank you. For people finally, the actual people who watch Top Billing. Trenches. Thank you. That's where the game is won at, not QBs. You take a good QB and put him behind a terrible-ass offensive line, and you'll see if he's a good QB or not. It won't look as good. You put him behind a great offensive line, you could take maybe an average guy and make him look a little bit better. Man said the front seven. We talking about the offense. We were just on the offense. I'm confused. What are we doing over here? Come on, little Dub. You know better than that. Man said AKA Fromm. Like that's one of those things. When people talk about Jake Fromm, it makes me question a lot of stuff about them. I'm like, man, this dude probably doing some weird shit at home. Like, I wonder if he got he be like, Superman jaws, like playing with like turtles and shit. Like, come on, you watch football or you skim it. Which side is more important, though, offensive or defensive line? I don't think that you can really put one over the other. Trenches. Man, Vivid, you got that late internet. Well, although we established that it was the trenches. You like 3 minutes late. The Jake from Shrine like Helga from Hey Arnold. This man talking about Stingley. What we talking about Stingley for? You don't see what the thing says. It says quick. All right. You don't respect my time. I don't respect you, man. That's just what I do, baby. All right. So in keeping up with that, let's go a little bit beyond that. Who has the best offensive setup? Who's the best orchestrating? Who's the best orchestrating offenses between the two teams? Is it the hacker Dan Mullen, or is it flashlight cop James Coley? You let me know. People saying Florida, just say the name, Mullen or Coley. The hacker. The hacker. What is the hacker doing right now? At 9:00, he's hacking all into Georgia's defense right about now. Mullen. Nobody's gonna say Coley. What's wrong with the people, right? Whenever we did the Coley thing, and people were saying he was an upgrade over Jim Chaney. Jim Chaney over here killing it at Tennessee with nothing. I will say this though, you never know. Maybe over a bye week or something, Coley gets right. Maybe he gets right. I don't know, but tried and true, that will be Dan Mullen. And people can say well all they want to say, and people try to do the whole, oh, look at what he did at Mississippi State stuff. The hell does Mississippi State got to do with Florida? You're not set up to win at Mississippi State. Joe Moorhead outcoached all these guys who do all this simple stuff. Everybody's copying Joe Moorhead, right? With all this simple RPO, goofball, easy elementary school stuff, right? That's what he brought from Fordham, brought that to major college football. He looks terrible at Mississippi State. He ain't got nothing to do with the coaching. All right, coolest. Coley has better weapons on offense. He has better weapons on weapons. No, I'll say he had better. What are the running backs? He has better running backs, but the receivers, he does not even close. I still don't understand the Coley hire. Like Miami was putting up points or something. Miami was like houseway. Miami was like 77th in total offense with that man. But UGA people were going crazy. So there you have it, man. I'm telling you, this is a 50-50 fight in my opinion, right? When we get to defense, it'll look even crazier, right? But just from this, I'm gonna come back with the defense maybe tomorrow sometime. Definitely gotta get to work on the film stuff. Just wanted to take a quick second here, but you can't tell me this isn't a 50-50 fight when you take in some of the stuff, right? Florida's not working with the dopest offensive line. Georgia is, right? But Georgia can't scheme it up like the hacker Dan Mullen. They can't. Georgia doesn't have targets like Florida. Florida can't run the ball like Georgia. It's one of those, what do you call it? Like a boxer versus a puncher, right? I love that. Every time we see the guy, he's great with the sweet science, and you got a guy who's just a knockout artist. You don't know those type of fights. You can say all you want, be like, oh, I think the boxer guy's going to survive in his defense, but it takes one punch. I feel like this particular matchup is like that. That's why I'm so excited about it, man. I think it's hard for anybody to say who's more qualified to talk about this too, right? Let's be honest here. Your boy's been killing it with the Florida content. Y'all know I get down with the Georgia stuff. So come take a look at your boy. We're getting it in. Taylor said Mayweather versus everybody else. Coolest white boy said Ricky versus Creed. I thought you was out of here. Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. All right, give me some matchups on how this is of boxing. What's the boxing version of Florida versus Georgia? Did I make my game pick? You must be never ever been you're not late to the chat. This is your first chat ever. We don't do game picks on Tuesday. Man tried to throw an in on. I'm late. You ain't never heard of Top Billing before. You ain't here on a Tuesday asking about game picks. Thursday or Friday, whatever the latest, the final show is. We get it in then. Mayweather versus McGregor. What? Holyfield versus Tyson. There you go. That's pretty dope. I always thought Holyfield was kind of a boxer puncher though. Tyson versus Ruddock, yeah. Triple G Canelo. They're very similar. Well, I guess I don't know. I always thought Triple G was a better boxer than people gave him credit for. But I can see what you're saying. Spence versus Crawford, says Keith. That would be hard. But those guys are both boxer punchers. Foreman versus Mayweather. All right. When you think you cute, we let you be cute by yourself. Ortiz versus Wilder. Man, that's puncher versus puncher, though, ain't it? Butterbean versus Tyson. All right, y'all. Ali versus Frazier. Pierce versus Swift boxing. Foreman versus Ali. That is, Foreman versus Ali may be the greatest display of boxer versus puncher. Gotti versus Pernell Whitaker. Yep. Boxer versus puncher for sure. Ali versus Foreman. All right, y'all getting too crazy with it. All right, y'all. I did my civic duty. I hopped in here, wanted to talk about it, right? Probably 25% of the people who can stick to the script. So those 25% of the people, thank you. As always, much love to you. The rest of you dudes, like, you know what I'm saying, go pound sand and go like hit your head on some cement or something like that. Go Q. What up, Todd Billing? Just showing support. Thank you, Q. I appreciate it. Before we got out of here, though, man, let's hit the thumbs up. Let's get it to 175. Go Q and all these people who haven't done it yet. Hit your boy up. Let's get it. I'm going to come back with that defense, though. So I want you guys to do your studying, right? I want you guys to know all the defensive players. And don't come in here and I'm talking about the defensive line and you start talking about Tyson Fury or something like that. Stay on task, man. That's all I ask. Just stay on task, baby. We can talk about football all day. Let's go. Let's get the thumbs up. Let's get the 175. Let's get it. Thank you, William. Thank you, Rubicon, Demetrius, as always. Silky, Falcons Fury. Matthew, you keep doing it. You've done it a whole bunch of times, bro. I'm not dumb. I can see. You playing with your boy. Adam, thank you. GoQ, thank you. Daniel, thank you. Manish, thank you. Jude, thank you. Chris, thank you. Southern Buck, Avon, I think you trying to play me. I think you did it before too. Marquise, I think you did too. Let's come on. It's not moving. Let's get it. 175. Let's go. I got to bounce. Thank you, David. Appreciate it. How do you say that? JR Fly later than the moment, Joe. Come on, JR Fly. I was in here naked. Pause. JR Weeks. JR Weeks says thumbs down. Okay, cool. Thank you. I'm glad when people do that. It lets me know it's like the haters, they don't want to let you know they're haters. They just want to thank you. I appreciate that. Anybody else want to do that? Gavin Little, J Ghost Productions, Greg Factorman, Demetrius. I hate it, but no thumbs up on my tablet. I think you already did it then. Let's come on. One more. Fabio, let's go. Chris, thank you. Suki says awesome videos. One more. Let's go. C-Note in the house. James A. Winston in the house. Jameis Winston? Troy Mann in the house. Red Ninja in the house. Tyson versus Muhammad Ali. What type of internet does Red Ninja have? We've been off that for at least 3 minutes. Marlon Thomas says fire football info. Bruce says I liked and thumbed. Pause. You thumbed. Pause. You mean thumbs up. Yakatak. Thank you. 0700. Thank you. Matthew Sanders. Thank you. Draco. Major pause says major pause. Yeah, you can be thumbing your boy Murph. Gavin says just find your channel, but love your content, my dude. Appreciate it, bro. Better late than never. Vinny P, thank you. We at 180. You can take it to 185 then. We can do it. Adam Miller says mod. You want to be a mod? I don't know about that, bro. You got to prove yourself in the octagon, the square circle. First mod in the chat says Adam. I don't know about that, bro. Anthony, thank you. Maricus, thank you. Thomas Johnson, thank you. That's a good question. Do you think playing in Jackson's fair, Gainesville pretty close? If it's not your actual where you go, it doesn't matter. To me, it's neutral. I would like to see it not be neutral, though. You imagine the type of I think if I'm Florida, I would try to get up out of that game, right? If you're good and you're going to be popping, you're going to want to get those recruits on campus at a game like this and see that type of atmosphere. So the recruits can't go to these neutral site games, or you can't interact with them because you're not on campus. So you imagine the type of splash that someone Auburn and Alabama and their stuff is at each other's respective homes and stuff like that. I don't know. The neutral site stuff is cool, but I would think from just from a recruiting standpoint, man, it could be a lot better. One more, baby, when we there. Let's go. Let's get it. One more thumbs up for your boy. Yakatak says best channel for real football X and O talk. Thank you, bro. How you say? I think you're gonna tell me how they say that. Best film study on YouTube by far. Kevin says, I love the content. Shuri T, thumbs up. Augusto, thank you. All right, y'all. I appreciate it, man. Your boy got to bounce. I'm gonna be back real soon. Just wanted to try out the equipment, but I thank you to everybody who participated correctly and the dudes, like I said before, Pound Sand, Kick Rocks, and all that. Thank you. Peace.